Hello and welcome back to another video. So things have been quiet recently. I haven't been picking much up. Basically almost nothing. No good deals have come by on eBay. Things are just really quiet at the moment. No one wants to sell their cards. It feels like there's no auctions going on. Everything's just single listing, no collections. So I thought it's a good time to go back through some older cards that some of these I feel like I didn't properly appreciate during the era when they were released. So today I'm going to look at specifically Sword and Shield Trainer Gallery cards. So these released in the final year of Sword and Shield block, so 2022. So Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, Lost Origin, Silver Tempest, and then in Crown Zenith we had the Glaring Gallery, which is effectively the same thing. So the front half of the Trainer Gallery are these yellow border flat hollow cards, and then in the back half you have the textured cards. And I was looking at the prices for some of these, and some of these have exploded in price. Even it feels like the last few months. So this Pikachu in particular, which is, it's a beautiful artwork. A lot of the cards in this era as well have a reference to the game. So like this one in particular is Legends Arceus, I believe, with the Pokeballs, main character, and this beautiful artwork. I love the yellow border on these. I'm not a fan of the flat hollow, which I think is why I sort of underrated a lot of them at release. But this card now is over 100 Australian dollars, which is insane. So that's like 70 plus USD. And this wasn't hard to pull. It's one of the front half of the Trainer Gallery cards, which had higher pull rates than the back half, the textured cards. So it shouldn't be that scarce. Lost Origin, not a short printed set. They did a ton of ETB reprints in particular of Lost Origin. So the Pikachu, another one which has gone up a lot is the Charizard. So Charizard, obviously, I'm not a huge fan of this artwork. It looks a bit awkward to me. But I think 60 Australian dollars now, 60 plus, which is, I feel like it's the other day, this was like a $20 card. So that's gone crazy. We have Vaporeon. So in Brilliant Stars, you have all the evolutions with Gary in the front half of the Trainer Gallery. Super easy to pull. You get it feels like you got one a box basically, maybe two a box sometimes if you're lucky. And these are originally very cheap cards, maybe like $5, a few dollars you could pick these up at the time. These are now $40 for this card in particular. And it is a beautiful artwork. I think it's my favorite of the three. Though I do also like the Flareon, which is somewhere. I think I have it in a deck actually, the Flareon. But yeah, $40 now for this Vaporeon. And then even some of the less valuable ones, which are probably my favorite ones, honestly. This Dusknoir with Morty. I really like the way the hollow plays across the eye, particularly in this card. These ones here are not particularly valuable, probably about $5 to $10. The Malamar, Malamar is such a cool Pokemon. There's that evil vibe, especially like the new Mega form now. Hopefully we see some Mega Malamar cards come out later this year. But yeah, I love the vibe of that one. My personal favorite Trainer Gallery card is the Octillery. Something about this card I love from the very start. I have two of these in my Rapid Strike deck, so I've played them a lot. Just the way that it's sitting on the bucket, I love the colors of this. It's the ocean in the background, the red against the blue, with the yellow border and the blue as well. It's my favorite Trainer Gallery card. And still very affordable, like $4 to $5 I think, to pick one of these up. It's such a cool card. My second favorite is Jasmine and Bronzong here. Kind of Ruins vibes in the background. It's cool to see Jasmine with a 4th gen Pokemon as well, even though I associate her with like Steelix, Magnemite. Again, it's the contrast between the grey and the green I think is really nice here. That's my second favorite Trainer Gallery card. And then probably my third favorite is the Jinx. Again, the contrast is so good in some of these. The artwork's just fantastic. Will and Jinx here. Tells a little story. I feel like Jinx doesn't get much love as a Pokemon, but one of the original 151, been there since the start. And it's nice to see it get a cool Hyoganaske art here. I've also recently come to appreciate this Spiritomb a lot more. I've heard recently as well that someone told me this was actually a reference to Legends Arceus as well. One of the NPCs in the game, or the characters in the game, and how you get Spiritomb from them. Some interesting lore behind that. It's one of the cards I've come to really appreciate recently. Probably the most drastic shift in opinion in the whole era. So moving on now to some of the Galarian Gallery ones from Crown Zenith. Of course, Crown Zenith now, the packs are so expensive, but these weren't hard to pull. Pull rates in Crown Zenith are fantastic. This is part of the 9-page artwork. My personal favorite, the Paris here. I actually forgot I had this card and I found it recently after regretting that I didn't have one. Really cute. I like Paris a lot as a Pokemon. Another one you don't see much about despite being one of the original 151, but it's cool to see you get a full art card here. We've got the Miki Tanaka Ditto, one of her best works, I think. I'm not a huge fan of Miki Tanaka in general, but this one really works for her style. The mountains in the background look good. The Ditto is really cute. The Numel as well, grazing. Really big fan of this card. This one I think as well has gone up quite a bit with the recent game, the Pokopia. Ditto cards have risen a lot. We have Toxtricity, not my favorite artwork, this one, but again, another Galarian Gallery card. I think this one's pretty cheap still. We've got Thievul, one of my favorite Crown Zenith cards. Again, the contrast. I love the way this artwork works. The light and the darkness makes Thievul look such a cool Pokemon. And then getting into some of the textured cards from the Trainer Gallery. So we have Duraludon VMAX. I'm a big Duraludon fan. There's a really wide range in these textured cards. So some of the ones you have like the Espeon and Umbreon VMAX from Brilliant Stars. Some of the ones, I think there's a Rayquaza that's very expensive now. Duraludon's still pretty cheap, I think. People haven't come around to Duraludon yet, but I think he's a cool Pokemon, especially the new Chaludon. I love that Pokemon. It's just a bridge, it's so fun. We've got Corviknight ferrying around the trainers of Galar. Very fitting for the games, Gen 8 vibes. It's a cool card. Got Centiskorch here, carrying Carbu. And these are actually, the textured cards are quite hard to pull. They sort of went under the radar compared to alt arts during their era. But some of them have really come around to some appreciation now, people realizing that these actually they're pretty rare. When you're only getting maybe one or two, probably just one textured card a box, and then there's 10 plus in the set. It's actually quite hard to pull them. And then finally, we have Orbeetle. I'll take this one out. For a new Pokemon, Orbeetle already has some fantastic artworks. And this one is no exception. The texture is fantastic. The pose, the artwork. One of the cooler, underrated cards, I think, from the Trainer Gallery. I've also found myself appreciating the regular VMAX cards a lot recently. I think it's the whole Sword and Shield era. It's the time now has been 4 or 5 years. It's really starting to become that nostalgic memory of a time when I was first getting back into the hobby, seeing all the new artworks, keeping up with the sets for the first time in a long time. And I kind of miss that era, especially now in a time where it's just so hard to get a box. I think Gameology has Pitch Black for $325 Australian dollars pre-order, where just 5 years ago I was pre-ordering Evolving Skies for $190, which shows you how much things have changed. Hopefully soon we get back to a time where you can pre-order stuff cheaply again, but for now, at least we have these older sets to appreciate. So thanks for watching. Let me know what your favorite Trainer Gallery card is, and I'll see you next video.